ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 1893 show. We are back again. It's been some busy times over at the 1893 HQ, but we're back with a new series. It's been a busy week. First week of the transfer window. The sun is shining. Plenty of Gills news to talk about. So I guess we'll get right into it with three things that are all related. Our new shirt releases. First of all, before we actually talk about our opinions on the three shirts, I just want to say what a great job the media team, Block Pictures, and everyone behind the scenes at Gills have done in getting those announcement videos out. I thought they were really good and such a nice touch in comparison to what we've had, last year when I think we just got a tweet with a picture of mock-up designs of the shirts. Absolute credit to the club. But let's talk home shirt. What are your thoughts, Alex?
You know what, right? When I first saw it, I was like, that's a bit naughty, that. Mm-hmm. That is a bit naughty. And to me, it is a bit naughty. I don't know if it's quite hanging in the loop yet. I've seen some shouts of it, but it's a bit naughty. And the moment I knew that it was a naughty shirt is when I walked back into the office. So I'm not meant to be on my phone in the office. And also I knew the shirt announcement was coming. So they yelled, just go to the toilet. What's it going to the toilet? And I walked back into the office and my mate Swampy, who was a Charlton fan, had seen it and went, that's a naughty kit. And for a Charlton fan to turn around and say it's a naughty kit, it's got to be pretty good, do you know what I mean?
I think it is definitely one of the nicer ones we've had in recent times, and just a bit different, just something new, not the standard blue with a little bit of white, or the blue and white stripes, or blue and black stripes. Something just a little bit different, but new shirt, and it comes with a new sponsor for what feels like the first time in years. No more mems on the front of the shirt. How are we feeling about that one?
I feel like it's the only thing that I looked at the shirt and went, don't look right. It just doesn't. It doesn't look right to me. It will eventually, and I'll get over it. But I guess for me, over the last few years, it's just been synonymous with Gills, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
It's been like a mainstay, and it's quite a rare occurrence in football to have a sponsor for as long as we have. So, yeah, I'm glad that it's another local company. Mm-hmm. So there is always that, and it'll grow on me. I'll get used to it, but it's a bit of emotional. It's like a breakup, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you say, I'm glad it's another local company, not one of those terrible gambling sponsors that we see on the front of football shirts far too often these days. And obviously with that, we then saw the announcement that Mems would be sponsoring, I believe, the back of the shorts for Notts County next season. So that's going to be a bit of a strange one, seeing that logo that I just associate with Gillingham Football Club on another team's kit.
Yeah, it will. And I mean, I could be wrong here, but isn't there still time to run on the naming rights to the stadium? Isn't it technically still called the Ems Freeswell Stadium?
You might be right on that. I will check.
Oh, I will have to check.
Maybe I'll just quickly Google it if you just want to carry on what you're saying quickly.
But it could be a little bit weird, like when Notts County come to play, they're short sponsors to sponsor the naming rights of our stadium. You know what I mean? That could just be me living in the past. To be fair.
So from what I've seen, obviously it's been the Mems Priestfield Stadium since 2011. And there's not been anything else said, just on the Wikipedia page since then. So there might still be time to run on that. Obviously, I know the Medway stand got a new sponsor last season, so maybe that will carry over onto the entire stadium.
I'm not sure. I guess I'm not. Yeah, as I say, I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to obviously wait and see. I feel like if it was going to have had a name change, we'd have heard about it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then it could just be that it's always been known as, I mean, to me, I've never known any different. I started watching in sort of 2011, so
yeah.
I've not known any different, which is, again, a bit wild and a bit emotional about the change of sponsor.
Back on that home shirt again quickly. So with the announcement, there was a lot of hype and a lot of talk and there was a sneaky little preview of a certain someone's boots, and there was a lot of talk around who this person was. I saw some pretty windy shouts from the boots, and from the back of the shirt I saw Jordan Graham being one of the shouts. Obviously, ultimately it was Tom Nichols, which I think a lot of people who do have their head in the right place in terms of our transfers knew. But there was a lot of talk about, is Alfie May coming along with this shirt announcement?
Look, you've got to rate the suspense building, right? It was great, right? But I said to you pretty much from the get-go, I think you texted me and I messaged back saying it's Tom Nichols. I knew it was Tom Nichols. I saw the boots, I knew it was Tom Nichols. I then had it confirmed to me that it was Tom Nichols. But I still had people messaging me saying, no, it's Alfie May. I'm like, mate, it's not. Stop dreaming. That my phone was just going absolutely crazy. Obviously, without going into details, it's been a very hectic week anyway, away from football. Just for me, it's been a hectic week. So I've not been like dialed in on everything that's going on as I normally am. But when I say I turned my phone on and I had to wait 5 minutes to do anything, it was just full of messages saying, is that Alfie May? Is that Alfie May? Oh my God, it's Alfie May. I'm like, it's just not. It's Tom Nichols. But obviously we'll get on to the other shirts. The suspense building clearly was building suspense for something. We just didn't know what. And ultimately, I don't want to say it's better than Alfie May, but it's not a bad announcement that we had at the end.
Well, obviously, there's still quite a lot of talk around Alfie May and where he's going. I've seen, on Twitter and things like that it's basically confirmed he's not going to Charlton. We're still looking like probably the best option. Won't it happen? I think a lot of people, and rightly so, want it to happen. It's just a case of whether we can afford what Cheltenham want for him, essentially.
There isn't a lot that I can say.
Legally bound.
I'll be honest. There's not a lot I can say on camera. I mean, to you, there's a lot that I can say, but on camera, there's not a lot that I can say. The Cheltenham thing, as far as I've heard, is true, but don't take my word as gospel. And it is a case of no one's matched Cheltenham's valuation of him, and until someone does, they're not going to let him go. I get the sense that Cheltenham know he wants to go, or think he wants to go, but aren't pushing to sell him. He's still got, I think it's a year, maybe 2 left on his contract. So they don't have to sell him, and they're not scared, it seems, to lose him on a free if they're not going to get what they want for him.
I feel like that makes sense, though. They've got a price, they've set it. It's just a case of whether anyone's willing to match that. And I do hope that we are. I think he'd be a really, really nice addition to have in the squad. He was one that we mentioned in our 5 players we'd like to sign video way back at the start, when I think we were first just being linked to him and such. But it'd be interesting to see if on another one of these weekly news roundup at some point we are talking about Alfie May being announced in a Gillingham shirt.
I'll be honest, I just want it to be over with Alfie May, because I don't go a day without getting a message about him, or someone asking me for some sort of update, or someone telling me new news on Alfie May. I'll be honest, there's that many people that have told me that many different things. I couldn't definitively tell you what's true and what's not. It's an absolute minefield. So the minute he actually announces that he's coming to Gillingham or going elsewhere, I'll be a very happy man, regardless of where he's gone.
Hopefully it is Gills. I guess finally, last thing on the home shirt announcement, a nice picture of Tom Nichols in our what is soon to be new club shop, surrounded by the building work going on. I think that's an exciting time. Obviously, we had the club shop kind of taken away from us. I think it was turned into a classroom or something like that, right? But as a kid, going into the club shop before the game was one of one of my favourite parts of football. So I feel like it's going to be really nice to have that back.
Yeah, 100%. I do remember walking in there and picking up my little like badges and stuff like that because I was that kind of kid and loving life. So it will be nice to have it back. I'll be honest, I'm probably still going to buy everything that I buy online, but it's nice to have it back.
£6 delivery they want from that club shop.
That's fine. Don't worry about that. It's all worth it. For those of you that know, I've got a niece and she is having all 3 of our new shirts. Her dad can try and make her a Forest fan all he wants. She's from Kent and she's supporting the Gills.
Rightly so. I guess on to the next kit then. The second announcement came in the form of our away shirt. What a lovely announcement that was as well. You know, the whole back to our roots, Brad Gallinson getting the projector out, watching a couple of the best moments of the Gills throughout the years. I think just all in all, another nice shirt that we've got going on. Oh,
I like it.
Oh, I thought he was going to say you didn't. That face led me to believe that you weren't agreeing.
Look, I like the story behind it, right? I love the story behind it. I don't know if I like the kit. I feel like I need to see it in action. You know what I mean? The other 2, I can look at it and think, that's kit. That one, I just feel like I need to actually see it on the pitch, in the away end, love and life, you know what I mean?
I think the black and white is a really nice touch. I thought the black and white shirt that we had a couple of seasons ago was really, really nice. Probably one of my favourites. One of my favourites that I don't actually own as well. So if anyone's selling one of those in a small or a medium, let me know. Name your price. Name your price. But yeah, obviously a little bit different this year. We don't have the collar that was on the previous black and white shirt. And also, it's not all just entirely striped. Obviously, you've kind of got that, I suppose, dotted pattern that feeds into the solid lines, which I thought was quite nice. My mum's response to it was, I don't like it. We're not Newcastle United. But I'm a big fan. I think it's always nice, especially with like your third shirt and your away shirt, to kind of mix it up a little bit. And I feel like we've been very consistent the past few years, I guess, with the colours that we use. So it was like the yellow shirt last season. That was a nice mix-up. Not seen a yellow shirt at the Gills for a couple of seasons. So it was nice to have. And I think that's kind of what this one is. Just instead of being a third shirt, it's the away shirt this year.
I feel like I'm with Mumsy on this, to be honest. I think what I'd have preferred is that being the third kit, and the pink one being the actual away kit. As much as I love the story behind it, you know, I don't look at it and think that's my club kind of thing. I will eventually. I'll grow to it, like all fans do, even if the kit's us as we do. But you know what I mean.
I think a nice touch on that shirt potentially would have been the old badge, the one that we saw on the blue and red shirt from the title winning season. However, I'm not sure if it would have fit too well, given that I suppose this away shirt is more of a modern take on the classic rather than a classic, you know?
Yeah. No, I get what you mean.
I suppose then, speaking of third shirts, because in one game I know we'll see the third shirt come out, is Notts County away. We can't be wearing that black and white strip against the black and white Pies. It's the lovely pink shirt, and I've actually pre-ordered this shirt. It's probably my favourite of the 3, just because it is so reminiscent of the 2011-2012 season. And we watched a couple of videos, if you've not seen our last video where we reacted to every Adebayo Akinfenwa goal. I think he pulls off the pink lovely, and it's great to see it come back. Kind of similar-esque, you know, with the blue stripes, and you got the white going on, but a little bit funky and a little bit different. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the pink.
Yeah, I love it. I honestly, it's probably my favourite of the 3. It's again probably more the nostalgic value of it, but it just takes me back to when I first started going, kind of thing. Yeah, lots of memories with the pink kit, so it's nice to have one back.
Yeah, definitely. And also, a nice touch, I know there was a little surprise in the video, and I've said this about every announcement, but another nice touch in the announcement video, getting the fans involved and down to Priestfield and getting their reactions to the shirt as well. I think it was interesting to see the difference between all three shirt announcements. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's just an announcement of a shirt. It's how much can you do with it. But I really enjoyed it, and it felt like there was a lot of hype and anticipation waiting to see these shirts, which isn't something I've really experienced with the club before.
I think for me, I would have preferred all three to have been done at once.
Mm-hmm.
So, like we saw with the third one, where fans came in, also had James, but Albion Page, come through. Instead of it just being the one kit that they were announcing, have all three at the same time. I don't feel that we needed obviously there was probably a reason behind it all being three separate ones. Mm-hmm. I just think by the third one, although we had a special announcement, by the third one it was just kind of like, and this might just be me personally, I was kind of just a bit like, right, I just want to see it now.
Yeah.
You've given me free kit announcements. Like, I need someone else in my life.
Well, fortunately, someone else in your life is what they brought us with that third kit announcement, where we saw the announcement of Johnny Williams signing as a Gillingham player, former Premier League and Wales international. What a player to have on the books.
He's great. He's a fantastic footballer, and he's a footballer that I personally, back end of last season, you'll know, was screaming out for the Gills to go out for. Someone to get me off my seat, right? And he's going to do that when he's not injured. Right, look, I don't want to be that guy that's like, yeah, I'm not happy with it, because I am happy. He's a fantastic player. It's a statement of intent. It makes it even better that we've taken him off Swindon. That just fills me with so much happiness. Inside, obviously, I know he was a free agent, but you get what I mean. And it was one that I didn't see coming, and I just sort of found out at work, this one, and not many people knew. I had a few messages like, just expect something, but no one could tell me definitively what it was. So that was quite refreshing to not know ahead of time. But as I say, it's a great signing, but I fear we may have a Ben Reeves situation where it's a great player who will have some magical moments, but only plays here and there.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, it wasn't one I either saw coming. Not something I'd heard anything about until actually the morning of. I saw an article basically saying that we were in for snubbing a player off Bradford. I actually didn't go out my way to read it because I was like, I've read so many articles about Alfie May and we're taking him off Charlton, we're taking him off Derby, whoever, and it's gone on forever and it's still not been announced. So I didn't really bother too much with it. I had a bit of a busy day. And then obviously to see him announced that same day, I've kind of seen that article. It was very refreshing, like you say, a proper statement, and especially to take him off Bradford, who I think until like the last hour or so thought he was going to be signing as a Bradford player. But, a Kent boy, back where he belongs, and playing at the ME7. I understand, I guess, your reservations in regards to injury and being like a Ben Reeves situation. I feel like the past couple of seasons we've not necessarily been the luckiest when it comes to injuries. We've had the bare bones of a squad being put out a couple of times. But I think he's a great signing. We've been calling out for someone who can score goals, and obviously he was Swindon's top goal scorer last season, so he can do just that. And for League Two, he's an incredible signing. To get him on a free is incredible, and I'm buzzing with it.
Yeah, look, I don't want people to think that I'm not really happy with the signing, because I am. right? It's a fantastic signing, but I feel like everyone's looking at it with these goggles on of, oh yeah, but look what he does. He can do this. He's great. You know what I mean? When in reality, if you look at it from not a Gills fan's point of view, right? So if we look at it just from a neutral, there's a reason he's playing in League Two when he has that ability, and that is his injury record. Because if it wasn't like it was, he'd be playing much higher, let's be honest. That's the type of player he is. As for him coming down and Bradford not really knowing about it, that's exactly what it was. I think we did sort of steal him at the final hour. Look, you can believe what you want to believe. I don't have any definitive answers, but apparently I had a hotel booked for him for the night before. Well. And, it's a great statement of intent to take it off someone that is meant to be rivaling us at the top of the table. But the minute you saw that we were linked, it was easy to tell where he was going to go. One of the reasons that, and this could be wrong again, full clarification, this is sort of speculation, but what I've heard, the reason it's not worked out for him when he's gone away from London, for example, is because he gets homesick. He's from Tunbridge Wells. He's not moved from Tunbridge Wells. My ends, other boys. So it just makes sense. It makes sense. But for him, it definitely makes sense. For us, it makes a lot of sense. And I'm interested to see what happens. I really, really hope he proves me wrong and stays fit.
Let's hope. And then at that point, I thought the week was done. I thought 3 shirt announcements, Johnny Williams in the door. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a player I didn't even know we were linked to, we've only gone and brought in Max Clark. A lot of people, I think, saw when they said that we had this announcement coming later on the day, was expecting it to be Tatonda signing the new contract.
I kind of knew that we were interested, but again, because I was that, you would have known because I'd have told you, but because I was that busy, I just didn't really pay much attention. I've had more important things to sort of deal with, you know what I mean? So it's a great signing. Again, another statement of intent. You've got one promotion last year. I saw a lot of people saying, yeah, but he's always been a backup left back. He played 47 times for Stevenage last year. That's not a backup left back in my books. That's nearly 50 appearances in one season. And if we have the aims to, go up next year, exactly the sort of player you want to be signing. As for when the announcement was teased, I put this in the writers group chat that I'm in. I've had 3 different people message me, 3 different things. One told me it's Alfie May and pretty much bet their house on the fact that it was Alfie May. The next one told me it was Tatonda. And the third one went, it's not Alfie May, it's not Tatonda, but it is a left back. But he wouldn't tell me who. Mm. So, again, I was just kind of sat there like, just tell me who it is. You know what I mean? I just want to know. Is it Alfie May? Is it Tatonda? I'll be honest, I don't think we're going to see Tatonda in a dual shirt again.
Yeah, I feel like if it might be, I guess, a Robbie McKenzie situation, where he kind of is hoping for better or hoping for someone else, like at the back end of last season where he didn't sign, and then it obviously got pretty close to the start of the season and he didn't have anywhere else, so he signed for Gills. Ultimately, he's now stayed. Again, thank you, Robbie.
My hero. Look, I'll be honest, right, and I might get some hate for this. He's nowhere near good enough a player to do that. Robbie McKenzie, right, as much as Gills fans love to say, oh yeah, but he's not that good, we can't tell you where he actually plays the best, right? That's his best asset, that he can play in like 5 different positions, right? Look at it properly, right? I've had this argument many times and I will stick up for my boy in every situation. Tatonda, not that player. You're not that guy, Chief. You know what I mean? If you've got a contract offer, he's not going to get anything better than what we offer. Maybe money-wise, yeah, but actual competing at the top end of the table, which other League Two club at the top end of the table is going to take him?
Yeah, I get that completely. I think potentially now that we've brought in Max Clark, he might be even more off-put. I guess not to sign for us on the basis of I can't see him starting.
No.
I just don't. I don't think he's good enough. I think he's too prone to a mistake to be in that starting 11. But we did say in our 5 people we'd like to sign that the left back position was one that we kind of wanted to fill or wanted cover for. I think that's something that we both said. So it's nice that we've got that bit of business done early doors. I can't say I know too much about Max Clark, but based off what I've seen Stevenage fans say on Twitter and things like that, I've heard he's a bit of a workhorse, but he is prone to a mistake and does dive in every now and then. But I think alongside with who else we've got in that back line, we should have plenty of cover for mistakes like that. I know he's a left wing back, more so than a left back, right?
So, I'm gonna say this very early, and it scares me. It does scare me a little bit. I see us playing 5 at the back next year to start off. I see it being a 5 back. I see Max Amer, Conor Marston, Rob McKenzie's your back 3, and then obviously Che, and I've already forgotten his fucking name.
Max Clark.
Yeah, the new guy, left back.
Okay.
I see that as, and then being able to switch into a back 4. So obviously bring off Clark, Robbie, left back, and then you've got your flat back 4. Being able to switch between those 2 systems is what I probably see. Like 5, Williams, let's say Coleman because I don't want to say Dieng. And then Johnny Williams, so Sean Williams, Coleman, Johnny Williams, Nichols and whoever. Hopefully Alfie May, but
Hopefully.
anyone but Ollie Hawkins.
I feel like now we've got plenty of cover at the back though, because I know you don't want Ollie Hawkins to play up top, but you know he can play in that centre back position. You know,
In a 5 back, I'd actually quite like to see Ollie Hawkins in a 5 back.
I feel
At
like
centre half.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of competition for places, but I feel like that's what you want. I feel like far too often recently, where we've had the bare bones of a squad available, I feel like players just walk into the team without having anything to offer. And I think we saw it more so at the back end of last season, right, where there was a bit more competition for places. But watching the numbers build up, you know, there are certain areas that we need to improve. Like I said, that left back position for me was one that definitely needed filling or we needed cover for. But hopefully it you know, spurs on that competition between the squad and we see some good performances out of it.
Yeah, ultimately it's what you need. And I think, look, I'm going to use Ollie Hawkins as an example again, right? If he ever sees this, I don't hate you, I promise, right? But I think he will probably be the first to admit that he probably wasn't overly happy with his performances, not when he first came in, but as we were getting more and more towards the back end of the season. I think he'd probably be the first to admit that they were off the pace. Maybe he was getting frustrated with the fact that he doesn't get a lot given against him, which we all got frustrated with. But I think, you know, he should have scored at Salford. I think he'll know that. There was a couple of opportunities where he should have had his name on the score sheet. If we'd have had another striker to come in and kind of put that rock up his arse, we could be having a different conversation about him, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But he was safe in the fact that 9 times out of 10, he's probably going to start.
He was always going to get minutes.
Exactly.
Whether he started or whether he came off the bench, he was always going to be the ones that got minutes.
But mentioning that Salford game, when he went to centre half, I was really impressed.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I wouldn't have him in a back 2. I think he's probably too slow to play in a back 2. But in a back 5, as the middle man with Max and Masterson or Robbie and Masterson next to him, I could probably get on board with that.
I feel like it'll be interesting to see how Harris does decide to set it up. Obviously, we got a couple of pre-season games coming up. I'm just in the process of trying to find out what is the first one, because I can't really remember and I don't have it written down. Okay, so our first pre-season friendly for the Gills side, and not just the Gills 11, is the 7th of July. And we play Chatham Town away, 7:45 kickoff. And then the following day we play Dover away, a 1 p.m. kickoff before we fly out to Italy. So it shouldn't be too long before we start seeing. I know pre-season's a little bit different, you know, you're trying to see what teams gel, you experiment a bit more. You know, I think last pre-season we had 1,000,001 trialists in the squad. Be interesting to see if we have anything similar this year. I don't think we will. Yeah, exciting times. Excited to see how Harris implements these new players into the squad.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the Chatham Town game. I am planning on trying to go now that I'm back down in sunny Kent. So I am going to try and get to that game and bring back the match day with Alex and Beth for pre-season. Then obviously we'll have the European tour, which I'm very excited for. There are some very big videos planned, one that involves Beth Forward. So just wait and see.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately not in the Costa del Medway, so probably won't get to as many pre-season games. But, you know, look into, hopefully it's on my bucket list to do every away game at least next season. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can make it happen. I suppose the last little talking point of this week's video, because I think that covers all the big news we had last week. Thursday, it's fixture release day. We've got four days until fixture release day. I'm very excited. 4 days? 3 days. 3 days. It's on the 22nd.
3 days.
3 days until fixture release day. Who do you want to see on the first game?
Wrexham at home.
At home? Oh.
Yep, Wrexham at home.
I feel like
I don't want to travel up to Wrexham first game of the season.
I feel like first game of the season, it has to be a really good home game. And I think Wrexham would be that, you know, that I think that's one a lot of the day trippers.
Wrexham at home, and it'll be on the telly.
That's the first one. Or I feel like you want to hope for an away day, right? A really good away day. I feel like either or sets the precedent for
as long as it's not like Barrow away, I'll be happy.
I wouldn't mind it, right? I know that's a long one from like down in Medway or whatever, but get the northern ones out the way while it's still summer.
No, I get that. I just mean, like, it's just not, it doesn't fill you with excitement. Like, if I'm like, oh, we've got Wrexham first game, or Notts County first game, you're like, oh, yeah, or Bradford away, something like that. Not Barrow this weekend away. No offence to Barrow, by the way, you just told this. Or like Swindon at home.
Yeah, I feel like a home game that's either going to get a lot of people there, you know, like your Wrexham, quite possibly your Notts County, you know, maybe even Bradford, or an away game of... a home game that's either going to get a lot of people out, a big crowd at Priestfield for the opener, or an away game that's going to fill a lot of people with excitement. I feel like one of those two, and I'll be happy. Preferably an away game, because I don't know if I'll be able to get down to a home game for the first week of the season. But
well, I will be there to have my season ticket. I had that anyway. So, yeah, hopefully it is a big home game and you can make it. And match day of Alex and Beth won't just be match day of Alex.
Yeah, the first game of the season. I'll have to be documenting it on iFollow. That I'm definitely going to pay for to watch very legally.
Yeah, because the reason you won't be able to get there is because you're 100% going to be away on holiday, aren't you?
Exactly.
Thought about it. See, 100% legally watch it. But yeah, I think that's probably it.
Yeah, I feel like that's the weekly news roundup with Alex and Beth complete.
But we'll have a reaction video out to the fixtures on Thursday.
Yes.
When we get Wrexham at home, first game of the season.
How exciting. Do you want to do
As
the honours
always.
of closing?
Yeah, I'll do the honours. As always, it's been a pleasure. We apologise for being a little bit here, there, and everywhere in videos. We've had issues with sound, issues with life in general, but we will be back after this week to Wednesdays and Sundays as normal. And as always, the Gills.
Oh, Gills. There we are. See you in the next
Lovely
one.
stuff.
This is why I don't leave the house. You say